I bought a 2003 Audi TT Roadster, 225 horsepower, 6-speed, all-wheel drive with 63,000 miles, and it's one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike the Baldadonis, and I buy and sell cars as a hobby, and I bring you guys along with me showing the pros and cons of each vehicle I buy. Now, I bought this car back in June 8th, and I don't have a ton of things to say about it because I only had it for a short time. But with my couple of weeks of ownership, I'll give you my thoughts of the car. Back in June, here in New England, I live 30 miles north of Boston, we have a pollen season. And if you don't know what that is, well, it's pollen. And it covers your car day and night for about 6 to 7 weeks, and it's pretty brutal. You can wash the car, it comes right back on. So it is very frustrating when you have an all black car that you want to drive. So I didn't drive it that much, it stayed in the garage. And the only other times that I actually drove it was to have it repaired. Let's go right back to when I bought the car. So I bought the car from a gentleman named John. He bought it with 42,000 miles 4 years ago. He lovingly took care of it. The first thing that he did was put a new timing belt and a water pump in it. And then over the past couple of years, he also did strut mounts, a custom Alpine stereo system with 2 amps, a box, and all new speakers, axle shaft, brand new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, a brand new battery, brake fluid and flush, a fuel filter, front and rear differential fluids, Heldex filter and fluid, oil change and filter. And when I got the car, I noticed that I had a burning oil smell. So I did the valve cover gasket. We're gonna get to that in a moment. But when I was with John, when I first saw it, I was in awe on how nice this car was. New England cars, they can go a few different ways. You can have a garage queen that the car's been never taken care of, never driven, or something that's been outside, beat on with the weather and it's rusty and it looks like shit. This one is in very nice condition. As soon as I saw it, I was like, wow. I was like, big smile on my face. The paint was near perfect. The interior was perfect. The wheels were perfect. As soon as I saw it, I knew I was going to buy it. And I had John drive me around. I didn't need to drive it. Just have him enjoy driving me around, talking about his car that he loves so much. Bought the car the next day. He dropped it off at my house. And he brought all the speakers, all the original equipment that went with the car, because the car is all original. And like I said, I needed to get an oil gasket fixed. So let's take it to my friend's shop. His name is Dave at European Auto Solutions in Hudson, New Hampshire. So let's take a look. The only other thing that I noticed was the temperature would go up one more notch and the fans would kick in a little bit later. It didn't overheat, but this is a common issue with this car, and it's usually just a coolant temperature sensor. I did not get the chance to fix that because I have other cars and because I sold it. I sold it within 4 weeks of buying the car. So let's talk about some of the things that if I was to own the car, what would I do? I would put a lowered suspension, just a little bit, 1.5 inches, something like that, just so the car can handle a little bit better. I would also put a tune on it, a stage 1 or a stage 2, and bump that horsepower up to about 275 to around 300 horsepower. That car would boogie. Now, before I bought this car, I actually looked at a 2001. And in the ad, as you can see by these pictures, it has a body kit and it looks pretty cool, right? Some people may not like the body kit, but it's different. But look at the car. It has the nice aftermarket wheels and it just looks so nice. But unfortunately, when I went to look at the car, those pictures were taken 10 years prior and the car looked like shit when I got there. Yeah, it looked like shit. I looked at the guy and I said, what is this? It needed a top, which I kind of knew. He told me that the back window was a little messed up. So I was like, okay, you know, keep that in mind. But it had curb rash all over the aftermarket wheels. It had the original rims on snow tires. The car was beat to shit. And I just looked at him. I said, why did you post these pictures like this? And when people come over to look at it, it looks like that. I was embarrassed for the guy. But he did have the tune and the lower suspension on it. And when I was driving that around, I could feel how quick the car could be. So it was definitely a fun car. Unfortunately, that car was just a piece of junk. But everything happens for a reason. This popped online just a few days later and I bought it. And for the 4 weeks that I owned it, I really did enjoy it. Other things that you gotta look out for. I mean, it's a Volkswagen, you know, Volkswagen issues, but it's not that bad. Every car has normal wear and tear. Same with this car. I don't see a lot of things that you have to worry about, but you know, you go online, a lot of people complain about all kinds of things. It could be the smallest things and they just add up, but being what I do, it's all minor things. So I did enjoy the car while I owned it. I want to thank John, the previous owner. I want to thank the new people that bought the car because they already had the same car but in green. And that's what it takes, is somebody like that to buy one of these cars. I really enjoyed the car for the time I had it. Until the next video, everybody. Oh, before we get to that, I do have 2 more car videos coming up. My 2014 Mercedes CLA 250 all-wheel drive sport package. I just got one more thing to do to that, and I just bought another Nissan 350Z convertible. It's a 2004, but it's a 6-speed with 77,000 miles, and she's a beauty. All right, guys, until the next video, Baldadonis out.